Professionally, LinkedIn is, I think, the best social network. If I had to choose any social network to be a part of, I would choose LinkedIn over Facebook or TikTok or Twitter or these other ones. And the thing about LinkedIn is that it's evolved from being kind of a job board, employment, resume, place to connect with other people and tell stories. And you can see that there's a feed here that is very much like a social media feed. So in today's office hours, I want to cover LinkedIn and I want to show you my LinkedIn. And as you guys know, we teach from example. We don't teach from what other people have to say or what we heard someone else say. We teach from what we've known to be verifiably true. And then we extract the principles and checklists from that. So what I'd ask everyone to do is put your mic on mute. If you have a question, feel free to ask and we can make it interactive. It's a small group. Just know, of course, that this is being recorded. We're going to turn into articles and mini courses and whatnot. So any tips you have, consider that. How do you make that valuable for everyone else to be able to see, right? How do we add the most amount of value? So feel free to jump in. Professionally, LinkedIn is, I think, the best social network. If I had to choose any social network to be a part of, I would choose LinkedIn over Facebook or TikTok or Twitter or these other ones. And the thing about LinkedIn is that it's evolved from being kind of a job board, employment, resume, place to connect with other people and tell stories. And you can see that there's a feed here that is very much like a social media feed. And LinkedIn used to not have a feed. They used to not have pictures. You guys remember when there weren't profile pictures on LinkedIn? And now there's things like live, and you have groups, which used to be amazing on LinkedIn, but I think have died. Facebook groups are really taking off. So I want to show you a few tips on how to get engagement on Facebook. What are things you do to pimp your profile and also pimp the posts that you make? For notifications here, I come and check my notifications a couple times a day, usually in the morning, and you'll see that people are engaging on my posts here, right? And what is it, do you guys think, that drives posts to get high engagement versus not as high? What do you guys think? What do you think the algorithm's looking for? Because it's not the same as Facebook or Twitter, or Instagram, these other ones. What are the things that they're looking at? Alicia?
I think they're looking at engagements.
Okay, looking at engagement, yeah. When I'm checking out other people's LinkedIn, is I look at LinkedIn doesn't make it as easy to see what people have to say. Let's look at our buddy Justin, because he's a coach for Tom Ferry. He runs iHomes Colorado. He's got 500 plus connections, so you don't know how many connections that is. It could be 501, it could be thousands. How many is that, by the way, Justin?
Well, Dennis, this is a great subject today because my LinkedIn is the least used social platform that I have. So your statement to start, I wrote down.
Okay, good. I think you guys are going to like it. So you've got to scroll down and you have to go to activity, see all activity, and go to posts. Otherwise, it shows the things that he likes, which may or may not be interesting. 9 months ago, which is okay. And this is a great video. It's professionally shot. He's got the video of the video. I love doing that. And it's got 7 likes and 3 comments. Not that likes and comments are the end all be all, but if we don't drive engagement, then we don't get, oh, what is this?
Dennis has understood the importance of 60-second videos in branding, both yourself, your company, but really a product or a process or anything.
Thank you. The funny thing in talking about 1-minute videos is it takes 4 minutes. We teach an hour-long class or even more on how to do a 1-minute video, which people will make fun of. And we see another video here, right? This video is cross-posted from YouTube. Now, why do you think this post is not getting much engagement when you're on LinkedIn and you're sharing a YouTube video?
Because you're taking them off the platform.
That's right. So imagine you go into a Honda dealership with a Toyota, right? Like, you don't want to do that. Imagine that you post a YouTube video on Facebook. They're not going to like that. So video that you have, ideally you want to upload natively. The algorithm's going to favor that, of course. Pictures are great. And this is obviously promotional. Check out this house, right? There's a link here. So when you put a link in here, that kills your engagement. Why would LinkedIn kill your engagement if they see a link here?
Because you leave their platform.
That's right, Thomas. They don't want you to leave. It's like the Hotel California. So let's take a look at my posts. So let's see, this one was 11 hours ago, which means the middle of the night. And it's quite short. It's just this, and then it's a screenshot of one of my tweets from a week ago, I believe. And it's got likes and comments and 1,000 people have seen it. So let's expand it and see what's going on here. And then I'm going to tell you my little secret. Oh, somebody doesn't want to agree with me. Okay, well, that's fine. No one has to agree, but this guy also, I know he's not succeeding in digital marketing, so he's not credible. I like to take advice from people who have done the thing that we're talking about. That's okay. I actually like it when people come in and want to disagree, because then other people will want to chime in. So we want that. We like that when other people say, well, I disagree, because then I'll say, that's an interesting point. Could you explain? Right? And we're driving more engagement. LinkedIn is looking for engagement. Facebook and their algorithm, the newsfeed, a like's worth 1 point, comments worth 6, and a share's worth 13. It's probably even greater weight towards comments on LinkedIn. I don't know what the number is, but probably 10 times what a like is worth, maybe even 20 times, right? And the thing is, when I come in and I click like on someone else's comment, or I say something, let's see, what you know takes you to who you know. And I could say, and I could tag him, and I don't have to tag him to give him a notification to expand on that, right? Or I could say, thank you so much. Even if I just click like on their comment, that's going to generate a notification up here. Because people are posting so infrequently, any kind of engagement generates a notification. A huge difference with LinkedIn. So here's another one. Winning at all costs is actually losing. If you're willing to cheat and steal the win, you're actually losing your soul, right? And these people will come in and say great things. This person, 18 hours ago, the best thing I read today. And I'll say, wow, thanks, Miriam. You guys know this. This is something I use a lot. Can I quote you on that? Smiley, right? A little winky. The winky's key. And then what's Miriam going to say? What will happen now that she sees this?
We'll say yes.
That's right, Dr. Kim. She's going to say yes and probably say something even more positive on top of that. They never say, no, you can't, because it's already public, right? So what you've got to do is say something that is provocative enough, but not incendiary or troublemaking, but enough to get people to want to respond. This one looks like it's doing okay. It's got 40 likes 2 days ago. Once you turn fear into courage, the impossible suddenly seems accessible. Those are some big words there. People have to really think about that. There's too much thinking going on here. So those people will click like, but they don't really have a comment to say, right? Because it's like, well, what do I say to that? I need something clear that it needs to be super simple. Just like what Bruno puts on Twitter, or Alex Berman. I was in Minneapolis with Dylan and some of our other friends on Friday speaking at a conference. And after one of the workshops, this guy Marty came in and I made one
You get a
video.
Marty coin.
Well, you put up a lot of money.
There you go. And where are we right now, Marty?
We're in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And what are you doing here?
I'm here because I'm an auctioneer. and I've been coming to these conventions for 52 years.
52 years. All right. Say something real fast.
Sit, 5 but not 10, 10 but not 20. Here I go now 30, 30 but to get 30, but to get $40 on them.
And how do people reach out to you if they want to hire you?
They simply get on.
So you can see, right? That's a fun little moment. Now I'm mixing it up because there's a little video here, vertical on my phone. There's little copies of my tweets. Look at this one. This one did pretty well, right? 62 and 13. So I want to break this down a little bit further. And I want to show you something that's called opening and closing loops. Have you guys heard of that? Raise your hand if you heard of opening and closing loops. All right. Raise your hand if you've not heard of opening and closing loops, just so I know you're paying attention. You're one of the two. Okay. So the key with engagement, LinkedIn is looking at, just like Facebook in this case, looking at whether people are stopping and engaging with your content. Just like YouTube, it's all about watch time. So what happens with what's called broetry, which is one line at a time, is there'll be my initial sentence. Now they don't see the whole thing. They just see the first sentence at first, and then they can expand it. And look at this opening. One of the worst pieces of advice I've ever received. That's opening a loop. That's opening a question. Like, oh, well, what's the advice? I want to hear it, right? And then I go ahead and close the loop. Massive action solves every problem. But then I open up another loop, right? So I'm constantly opening and closing and opening and closing. So every time I close a loop, I open another loop, right? So when you do that, people will continue to watch. It's just like in TV when you have cliffhangers, right? So the end of the episode, this thing happens, you're like, oh man, I just need to watch the next episode to find out what happens next, right? You guys know that? Like your favorite Netflix show, they literally intentionally are opening and closing loops. Sometimes it's just something that people can feel positive about. Hey, instead of waiting for perfection, just go ahead and do something, right? And then all these people are coming in and say something. And if we get people to engage, some people have said you really need the engagement in the first hour. You'll hear other LinkedIn experts say you need 10 comments in the first hour. I mean, that will help, but I don't think it's some kind of magical number where you have to get to 10. What you do need is something where I have an audience worldwide, right? A lot of people on the East Coast, we have people in Asia and Europe. So there's no ideal time for me. You'll hear people talking about timing. Timing really doesn't matter because you could actually get a head start on engagement. Let's say if people are, you'll hear people say like, oh, 8 a.m. is when you need to, local time is when, you need to be there because that's before people get started during the day or, whatever it might be. Well, in that case, start at 6 and you build up a little momentum and you slingshot your way up into the 8 a.m. time zone. By the way, that advice is completely wrong. I'm just telling you, don't listen to the whole timing thing. That's not correct. But let's see what's going on here. Why is this one getting 4,000? Well, it's because these people come in and look at this one, Annie Evans. She said, she basically wrote a whole essay here. Look at that. That's longer than my initial post. You'll sometimes see that, which is great. And then I'll reply to her and I'll say, hey, that's so good. You should turn that into a blog post so Google can see it. And she says, yep, we'll be done. Thank you. Right? You inspire us. There, she's posted it. Well, you posted it. Where's the link? Come on. Right? So what's going on here where we have this back and forth conversation occurring inside this thread? Well,
I think it gets other people reading it and then wanting to participate in the conversation, which then increases engagement.
Yeah, and so their friends are going to see that as well. So we're igniting my audience and their audience. And you might say, well, that won't work for me because I don't have 29,000 followers. But you don't need that because every person on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatnot on average has 400 friends or followers or connections or whatever you want to call that, right? So 400 times 400 is what, 16,000. So that's plenty. You don't need to have a gigantic base, but that does help because when you do make a post like here, win, but do it the right way. People, they want to know, oh, what's next? I'm opening a loop, right? Then I'm including things that are counterintuitive, right? Work hard, but don't take shortcuts. Celebrate, but have gratitude, right? I'm showing opposites. And when people are engaging, other people will engage off the engagement. So here's one tip. When you reply to people in the comments, you'll get up to 3 times as much engagement because that post on LinkedIn can last 4 days or even 5 days. On Twitter, you have 15 minutes. On Facebook, you have maybe an hour, kind of as the half-life, right? The half-life, it just kind of tails off. On LinkedIn, the half-life is probably 3 days if you continue to engage. So I could take posts that I've made from a long time ago, and let's say I showed you guys last week that I had a post on LinkedIn, just some random post, it went to 2 million views. Just wild, right? You never know. Could be just something usually it's the thing you didn't think of or you didn't put a lot of thought into. If you put too much thinking into it, you end up ruining it, right? Because then you're trying to twist it in this other thing. So you want to keep that thought fresh. So this is one I made 3 years ago, right? And this is also opening and closing loops. So I'm opening a loop. I charged $2,000 for a $100,000 project, but the client was pissed. You see how that's an open loop? And then I closed the loop. Well, why? Well, what happened? Well, it was a Facebook ads project, but I could do the Facebook ads, but they didn't have the assets. And then I say something that could be slightly, what's the word, incendiary, where, people, it's like, Gary Vaynerchuk or Donald Trump. I'll say something that could polarize people, but hopefully not in a bad way, right? So I paid the maid $50 to come over every week. She likes doing that. And I also gave her a $100 tip today because she drove some food over 40 minutes across town for our friend who just got COVID. And you can see, right? So now I'm opening and closing loops. And then I say something at the end, which is to try to get people, something that's positive, but also causes people to say, that's something I might want to share or engage on. So I'm not saying something inflammatory just for the sake of getting attention. I want to do it in such a way that it satisfies 2 criteria. One is it is serendipitous, meaning it's something new, there's some kind of discovery around it. Like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And that's why people are often scrolling through social media is they're looking for that dopamine hit because there's something new or someone clicks like on their stuff. That's the whole addiction of the algorithm. So serendipity is the first one, right? Oh, wow, this is cool. This is new, or this is said in a way I really hadn't thought about. Here's an interesting story, right? Which is what the whole point of a 1-minute video is. And then number 2 is it creates identity. So identity means because of the story or what happened, this is something I believe in too. So this underlying post says, charge appropriately. You didn't charge enough money, right? Dennis is a dum-dum, should have charged $100,000. I know, but they'd only pay a couple thousand. Yeah, but like the whole maid analogy I made here is, would you have someone build your house for $50? No, they could clean your house for $50, but they can't build your house for $50. So this person didn't have the items necessary. Now to run the ads, sure, that might be a couple $1,000s, but they flat out didn't have all these other components. They didn't build it to the point where then if I had the assets, just like a chef with the ingredients, I could just assemble, whatever it is. But I had to get all the ingredients and explain it to them and come up with the recipe and cook the food and build the restaurant and all that, which they didn't understand. That they thought I can just hire someone to do Facebook ads and then I don't need to do anything else. And so that was the whole problem. And, then you see all these people coming in and they're saying, well, you should have charged more, or you should have got your requirements in place, or where was your statement of work, or how could you have done that? Or it's your fault as the agency because agencies rip people off, or, whatever. So all these people are coming in and they're saying whatever it might be. And rather than take offense at these other people, you want to find ways to acknowledge them. It doesn't mean you agree with them, but the key is the comments moderation and monitoring. So here's somebody said, you can be fast, cheap, or good, right? But you can only pick two. You guys have heard that before, right? That's awesome. No one replied to that. Lock and key program, locksmith. I'll say, I can still do this 3 years later. You're so right, Damien. That is and I'll make a fun little joke. That is the key to success. Maybe he'll get that or not as a locksmith, who knows, right? So that is going to generate another notification up here. And you'll see that in the comments, this is where you're able to drive leads. This is where you're able to build engagement, community, people come check you out. So you'll see how many people view your profile, for example. So I look at my profile. So actually, before I move on, let's go back. What do you guys think about this idea of broetry, where you do one-line stories to drive engagement? You're opening and closing loops. You are, let's go to notifications and see what else is going on here. What do you guys think about this as a way to drive engagement? Oh, look, Eric Chang, creative agency owner, 27 shared connections. So how does one get 10 minutes with Dennis Yu? Easy. Join office hours like you guys are here. And I've got keyboard shortcuts. So I say join office, and then that's all there, right? You guys know in Apple, you have keyboard shortcuts, right? You guys know how to do that? There it is. Now he can join and pay $100 a month, right? Hey, there's Claude. Claude, you don't have your whole green Seth Godin glasses here, right? But I'm engaging here. Now Claude's gonna see this. Thank you, my green eyeglasses friend, okay?
Thank you.
So that way he knows it's me, but I could have a VA do that too. Oh, Tom, you were gonna say something? Oh no, Claude, you were gonna say something. I think you should trademark that. You should be more distinctive. You have that, it's like Seth Godin or whatever, have that look and keep that look consistent across everything that you're doing.
Good question, if that's all right.
Yep.
What would be the difference from posting in your feed like this versus writing an article? I've written a couple articles and posted. Don't they have a...
Yeah, the articles don't really do all that well. That's kind of their version of Quora or blogging. When you want to post something new, you could write an article here, which is LinkedIn Pulse. And that was awesome 3 years ago. But my buddy who until just recently ran the digital marketing for LinkedIn says their algorithm doesn't give it that much priority anymore. And besides, a view on an article is basically the same thing as a click. So I'd rather get more actual impressions and engagement than try to drive something as an article. But what you could do, and this is from our friends at LinkedIn, you could take any one of your top blog posts. For example, here's a blog post that I wrote. This is on Influencive. So I wrote this article on Influencive and it got 16,000 shares. That's pretty cool. And you should hope for the best, prepare for the worst, which means be optimistic, give people an opportunity, but also in case they screw up, make sure it's still going to be okay, which is something I learned in the airline industry, right? So in the airline industry, if something goes wrong, hopefully there won't be a catastrophic failure. Maybe the flight is late, or they have to bring in another pilot, or we have to reroute, or there's weather, but it's still okay because there's backup systems and there's process designed around failure, whatever that might be, right? So you can see I wrote this whole article and all these people liked it. This is the second most popular article on this site, Influencive. The number one most popular article is by my friend Mark Black. And we use the $1 a day strategy to get all these likes, by the way. You know that? So as it relates to LinkedIn, I could literally take this and I could take this article and turn it into a LinkedIn article. But then I have to format it the right way because LinkedIn doesn't allow us to format things the way I want. So I could paste that into LinkedIn, but I wouldn't worry about doing that right now. So just work on posts.
So would you take that text and create a post, or what about sharing a link like from Medium, for example?
I wouldn't share external links. If you're going to have links, you're going to say link in the comment. Yeah. All right. So let's write a post together, shall we? Oh, look, there's Matthew Janusek, 14 hours ago. He's in UK. Look at that. It's pretty good. Client. We had our monthly call yesterday. He's the CEO of Escape Fitness. All right. You see here where it says designing some of the finest fitness spaces in the world? What do people normally put here in their headline? They put their job title. Don't do that. Ideally, you want to do X, Y, Z. So I help X achieve Y through Z. So if I'm Dylan on this call, I'm going to say, I help therapists get more patients through this digital marketing process, right? So you see here, X, Y, Z. And that's going to cause people to they're more likely to want to engage on your profile when they see that. So you can see a couple thousand people have seen my profile. I switched to premium just recently, but I'm not a salesperson. I don't do cold outreach. I don't do in-mail. So it really doesn't do me any good. Everything I've done for the last, 12, 13 years on LinkedIn has been without paying on LinkedIn. And sometimes I'll run ads, and I can show you ads if you guys want to see, but there's no substitute for high quality organic engagement. That's the main thing. It's not articles. It's just posts here. It's a combination of video. You can repost things. Like I could take something that I posted on Facebook here and repost to LinkedIn and vice versa. Right? So let's go to my Facebook profile, not my public figure page. And you can see 2 days ago, I was at the Cosmopolitan. So Tom, you've been up here before, so you know what this is like. It's a nice place. And before this mastermind started, I decided just to make a video about, hey, if you don't capture the moment, you're never going to have that moment, which is kind of neat. And then we had a series of conference calls, and other people will say all kinds of things. I think I've stayed in that room. Okay, Mr. Mark, that's cool. Did you like it? It's got the longest patio I've seen of any penthouse. You can walk on this thing forever. You can see him walking all the way down the thing, trying not to fall. It's easy to drop your cell phone when you're trying to make selfies, so be careful about stuff like that. So I could take this video and repost it to LinkedIn. It might do okay, but it's better to write text. For some reason, broetry, so one line text. Let's write a post together. What should we write a post on? Somebody give me an opening line, a hook that is interesting and opens a loop. Maybe Jeremy of Hyper SEO. You got an article or a direction you want to go, and I can come up with a hook or vice versa.
How about something that compares like LinkedIn to Twitter or LinkedIn to Facebook or something like that? Just an idea.
Okay, so let's go with that. And let's use a little AI cheating going on, okay? You guys should have access to this. If not, then see Stephanie at blitzmetrics.com. Let's go for, what would be fun is we want to do a little competition, a little friendly competition between me and the bot and see who can do better. Facebook ad headline. All right. So let's do this. And it'll be, actually, this is more product oriented, but we'll say, what did you say? Let's comparing.
Or just comparing engagement between a couple different platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook or something. What's the best business for you, for your business kind of thing?
Other social networks. What's best for business? Okay. Elon Musk, sure. Okay. Let's see what it has. Now, I would say, you want to know what my favorite social network? I'll bet you'll never guess what my favorite social network is. That's what I would do. The only platform, okay. Average CTR, consultants, how do you measure up? Have you wondered which social network is best? Why you shouldn't compare your Facebook engagement to LinkedIn and Twitter. Okay, see, that's an open loop, right? I don't like these. Let's generate more. My guess is going to be my favorite social network. I bet you can't figure out what my favorite social network is. Does it work? That's actually pretty good. Does it work? That's an open loop, but it's also kind of vague. Analyze your social engagement in less than 30 seconds. Wow. Why is Facebook failing you? Wow. That would probably work too. What do you guys think? You like any of this? You're definitely missing out on this. Oh, FOMO. Any of this? So let's see, we're on LinkedIn. So we'll do a LinkedIn post and we'll do a Facebook post and we'll see which one does better. And what is our goal here? Let's get some kind of engagement to talk about engagement, which I know is kind of Inception-ish. It's like marketers doing marketing to marketers on marketing, consultants teaching you how to be a millionaire by selling courses for $1 million to other courses, All right, so what we want to do? What was it that we just saw here? Let's see.
How about something like, is educating yourself available without going to college or something like that?
I like the Facebook question you were on. Why is Facebook failing you? Are you leveraging Facebook correctly? I feel like that's something that's easily for you to riff on as well.
Why is Facebook failing you? Now I'm doing this on LinkedIn. Okay, now I could type in a bunch of stuff here, but I'm going to use it as broetry. So I'm going enter. So that's its own sentence, one line sentences. Why is Facebook failing you? Well, let's see. Well, now we want to answer it and then have another loop.
Yeah, maybe give top 2 or top 3, like off the top of your head, which I think you're kind of a master at anyway.
Yeah.
And then open another one.
Okay.
Maybe along like organic reach.
Too much noise creates low organic reach. And Mark Zuckerberg wants your money. Now we're going to flip it on them. So we're going to say, but here's the truth. Your content just can't make chicken salad. I love saying this, out of chicken take. Take. Chicken salad out of chicken take. The algorithm prioritizes. So now I'm teaching. Now the algorithm prioritizes high engagement, especially in a sea of garbage. So don't blame them. Don't blame Facebook. And I'm going to widen it and the other social networks any more than you blame the scale for being fat. That's going to piss off some people. Do you think?
That is potent.
Time to level up, my friends. Okay. Call to action. Now I want to get them to say something. Okay. So how about that? Is that good? Now, I didn't use the robot. Okay. I could have. Now I'm going to cross post this here.
That's terrific, Dennis. I think that's great.
Okay.
You missed the up and level up on the last sentence.
Oh, shoot. Is it?
I'm curious to see how this goes, honestly.
Okay. We all wrote it together. So let's all go engage on it. I got to choose one of these. So I like to say excited or perplexed or mad or one of these ones. Let's see. Why is it not giving me the choice here? Now, whatever. Okay, let's just go ahead and post it. So there it is. That's posted on Facebook. It's got like a 5-second head start. And I can always edit the post too. I don't like editing the post because it hurts you algorithmically because they think you messed with it. And people use hashtags. I don't like to use hashtags. It doesn't work, okay? It just really doesn't work. On Twitter, you can do hashtags. Instagram, kind of. All right. So guys, go find me on Facebook or LinkedIn, whichever your favorite one is, and say something against that one. And then I'm going to show you what's going on here with notifications. All right. So let's see. We already have people that, oh no, this is another one. Someone else mentioned me. So notice I didn't sell anything. I didn't link off somewhere else. I didn't upload content from another social network, which would be infuriating. Say, hey, Tom. So Tom runs a Chevrolet dealership. What if I went into your Chevrolet dealership asking about the Ford F-150? What would you say? What if I worked at your dealership and I drove a Ford F-150? What would you think about that?
Well, it depends. If you bought a used Ford F-150 that happened to be on our lot and it fit your price range, it wouldn't bug me. But
what if I worked there?
Oh, I guess I don't care.
Really? Okay. Well, I would.
Yeah.
I would not like that. Okay.
It depends on the situation.
Yeah. Oh, look, Claude liked our stuff here. Let's see here. See some new notifications. Oh, look. Hey, fam. Thank you, my friend. So he commented. Now remember, it's a like's worth 1 point, comments worth 6 points, and a share is worth 13. A share is worth 13 because someone has to put their reputation behind it, hit share, and Facebook counts it as a new post, not as just a share. It gets its own post ID, believe it or not. Just like this post has a post ID on it right here. This is the post ID. See that? Okay. Now you do want, it is true in the first hour, especially on Facebook, because the higher the decay, the more important it is. Oh, wow. There you guys go. 7 reactions and 2 comments. And we have 12 people who have viewed it. So of the 12 people who viewed it, we got 7 likes. So that is 65%. That's pretty good. Now, if you can get that engagement rate above 5% or so, then the system is going to continue to extend your reach, right? So I've got 29,000 followers. So they may initially, in the first few minutes, give me 200 or something like that in terms of initial reach. And the same on Facebook. So I've got 14,000 people that follow me. So they might extend it to a couple hundred people. Oh, look, Justin, Jabez, other folks commented, even better. Amen. There, Justin. First on my feed, and I love it. Hey, Nashika, level up your game. That is cool. Tough love for Mr. You. I'll give that a love too. You look like a pineapple pizza type of guy. Dude, I'm on a seafood diet. I love to eat food diet. Feed me. Okay. See, so I'm commenting back. So other people, oh, Manoj, there you are. Howard, there's Howard. Love seeing you guys comment. By the way, don't do these trains or pods. You guys know what trains and pods are? Back in the days of MySpace trains from 20 years ago. So then we'd all get together in a group and we'd say, okay, anytime any one of us posts, everyone else has to click like or comment or share on that. I don't believe in doing that because the algorithm's going to notice that it's bogus, especially if it's timed through a bot or whatnot, right? So this is already looking pretty good. 11 likes and 6 comments. So we have 28. So we're still almost 50%, right? So it's starting to go down, and it's like the stone in the pond where you drop the stone and then the ripples go outward. So the initial wave is bigger and then it kind of dissipates the further out it goes until eventually 3 days later, this post will die. But the fact that you guys helped me out, oh look, Dr. Kim gave me a little like, is key to getting that initial extension. Because if you don't get the reach, then if you're not even seen, then you can't get the engagement, right? So that's the chicken and the egg. You have to get that initial engagement. Just like Kevin Lee, who's eating ramen or something, he's putting out great videos, but unless he gets engagement, whether it's on the social networks or on YouTube, which is kind of a social network, if you don't get that watch time or engagement, it's not going to continue to get more exposure, right? So you want to keep clicking like on these and even say something too. So there, Manoj actually put in a whole comment. So that is worth me saying a little bit more. And you could have a VA do it, but I like to have humans, well, not humans, I'd like me, like the actual person doing it, just because it could be, you want to learn. Oh, look, Mr. Dillon there commented. All right, so that's not bad. 27 and 14. How many people do we have in this call? Like 25? So there's people outside of this call that are doing this, and it's going to start to spread because then they're going to notice it too, right? So you see that those are the components of virality as things start to share. And you don't need to be a public figure to do this. You just need to use this kind of formula, right? You see that this is broetry. This is opening and closing loops. This is the one that I was just showing you over here that went to 2 million. And you guys saw last week how I used Inception to where the Reuters reached out to me, right? And then I was on TV talking about LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. So you can use media to feature your media. And often you can go to, I'll show you this one. This LinkedIn doesn't do this, but you can still do it. So if you go to facebook.com/onthisday, it'll show you things from years ago. So yeah, now called memories. So it'll show you something from a year ago or 5 years ago. What you do is you can rekindle your old posts from a while back. And 1 year ago, we did this thing here. Facebook ads and leads, right? Now, this didn't really do very well for me. Not that engagement's the main thing. I'm looking for quality too. But let's see. Oh, look, 2 years ago, I was in Australia. Look at this.
Or petrified, then beginning a brand new course. And today's the day that we kick off our social media management class at the University of the Sunshine Coast. So behind me are our social media managers for this semester. You can wave, please. And then we also have online students zooming in. We have Kirsty there, and then Amy is there as well, zooming in from Western Australia. And so what we're going to do is every week we're going to meet together as a group. So it has a sort of an agency feel where we have a work in progress presentation and meeting where we present issues that we're having, and we also share insights and things that we've learned throughout the week. So it's a really supportive environment to keep learning. And the students here have real clients throughout the semester and go through the entire process of social media management. So that way, when they finish, they can actually have real results to show their impact to employers once they graduate. So it's a really exciting course, and I hope everyone enjoys it.
So these guys have hundreds of students that are coming through our courses so they can actually run an agency instead of just reading a book and writing a paper. And then I might comment on this from a couple of years ago and say, love how you're giving students real world experience so they can actually apply digital marketing dollars with real clients. Okay, see, 2 years ago. Oh, my buddy Danny Brassel, he's written a bunch of books. So I'm interviewing him. What is this? Oh, 2 years ago, here's another one, a 20-minute video on how do you optimize ads step by step, which is a lot of chalk talking. I love doing the whiteboard stuff. 3 years ago, oh, look at this.
Coronado, love this place. Hey, I got a great podcast episode that dropped this week. It's featuring Logan Young of Blitz Metrics. And this is a great show.
I don't want that one. I want the one that I had. Let's see. You can see 3 years ago. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Monique. She's good friends with Zuckerberg. Let's see if I could find one 7 years ago. I admit it. I boost a ton of posts daily. Okay. And this is an article I wrote on Inside Facebook. And I can comment on this and I could say, I still boost posts today, right? You can revive your greatest hits from a long time ago, and you can do the same thing on LinkedIn. You've lost some of the edge rank that comes from it being recent, but it'll still kick back in. This is the idea of the greatest hits. So instead of trying to publish every single day, I want to try to take more, like amplify against what's already working, right? The whole point of the social amplification engine.
I've seen that lately. We're in Facebook and LinkedIn too, that some people go back and make a comment on something from several years ago.
Yeah, it still works. People don't even realize it was from 2 years ago.
Yeah, I tell you look close at the post, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now this post that we just made, 123 people have seen it, 14 reactions, 11 comments. So now we're down to 12%. And who's seeing it? Let's see. They have the title marketing specialist. All right. And a lot of people in New York, San Francisco, Phoenix, and whatnot. What else do we see about this? Business owners, authors, Lisbon, Portugal. Wow, what is it there? It's like 9 o'clock over there. So why do you think that this is being seen by founders and salespeople and marketing people? Why is that? Because it's not going to be the same thing for every one of these posts, is it? I could look at any one of these and I'll see a slightly different mix depending on what I'm talking about, right?
Some of the people are following or reacting because they know you. They might not be they might be like me, something in a different business, but they follow you or respect you. So they might comment for that reason.
Okay. So this post was this morning and got 1,000 views. And now it's people from Vendesk, these other, Lutronic, it's a client. Okay. There is some overlap, but you're going to see it slightly different. So of course, the nature of the post, the content itself is going to drive a different audience that's going to react to that topic. But you want to know another little secret? Check this out. Almost nobody knows this, but Larry Kim and I have been messing around with LinkedIn. And Larry Kim ran the world's largest ad agency in terms of spend. So he knows because he had 2% of Google's worldwide ad spend, which is crazy. 2% of Facebook's 2% of Facebook's ad spend. What am I doing? I always go to the activity. That's not what I want to do here. Here's what I want to do. And this is what I want you to do right now. You guys know skills and endorsements. This is not the same thing as recommendations. Recommendations are, working with Tom's been great and blah, blah, blah. Skills and endorsements is you can list up to 50 skills and you're going to feature the top 3. And then you have another 47, of course, here. Now, Tom's got a lot of things related to small biz and advertising and sales and things that I might expect for someone who runs a dealership, but there's actually not a lot of car stuff, not a lot of automotive stuff, is there? So let's see, what's got the most? Management, customer service, 66, 79 on sales management. All right. I'll always say highly skilled, and then you don't have to select relationship, but you do have to select one of these 3 before you can submit. And you have 99 plus, okay, sales, customer satisfaction, kind of the stereotype of car dealerships, right? Like we talked about, honest or, do they rip you off or whatever. So I'll give you a like or endorse you on those 3. So what you put as your top skills here and what gets the most likes are the ones that it drives. It's not completely, it's one aspect of driving what you show up to. So you can see he's got 142, put mine on top because hopefully mine carries the most weight, at least in as long as I'm authoritative in marketing strategy. So if I say Tom's really good at marketing, I'm not going to say he's good. I'm going to say he's really good because I want it to carry a little bit, right? And then when we look at this, the people who are authoritative in marketing strategy, which of these people are authoritative, right? So LinkedIn's trying to figure out whether people actually are good at something. And that's different than social networks. The other social networks are just, TikTok's just going by whatever got the most views and what's the funniest thing and what will cause people to watch the most stuff versus here, LinkedIn's trying to go for expertise and experience. That's why they're doing that. That's why their algorithm's a little bit different. Now, if you look at mine, let's look at Justin's real quick. Let's scroll down to see. And if you don't have 50, shame on you. Why wouldn't you want to have all 50 slots filled? It doesn't cost you anything. Let's see, Justin had 18. I think I've clicked like. I've endorsed them all. Yeah, so Mr. Justin, you got to get 50 here. Oh, Brennan did that. I wonder if I logged into his account and did that, or maybe he did that. Oh, I think we did it at a workshop together. It was one of our exercises or something like that. He's got 2 recommendations, one from me. Hey, you want to know what the best way is to get more recommendations? Make recommendations to people you like, and then they'll recommend you because LinkedIn will say, hey, now that so-and-so recommended you, you should recommend them. So let's see, let's take a look at mine. This is robot trying to give me all these suggestions that don't matter. Okay. You ever see anyone log into their LinkedIn and actually show you? All these people talk about LinkedIn, but okay, if you're so good, why don't you show me? Why don't you write a post for me and show me? Oh, look, see? Online marketing. So I have 99 plus, but it's endorsed by Larry Kim and other people who are really skilled at it. So it's not just random people. It's like, it's Larry Kim. Lee Oden, well, he's obviously well known, right, in B2B marketing. So they're saying, Lee Oden says that Dennis is good at social media marketing. Now let's look at the count here. So I have almost 1,000, right? So that's pretty good. So this is driving a lot of what I'm showing up for and who and where and that kind of thing. So fill out these skills. And also by filling out these skills, it also causes you to focus and think about what are those topics I really want inside my topic bill, right? So it all ties back together. Then this whole follower versus following, I've got 141. You want to have more than you have given. But even if they're close, as long as it's not like you've given 200 and you've received 5, that wouldn't be good. But these are great, right? You see these recommendations that are coming in? Most of these people are event organizers and successful entrepreneurs, right? Wendy Weiss, global keynote speaker, this kind of thing. This person, she runs events, right? Dennis is really good. He's very knowledgeable. He loves to help people, right? You see this goes on and on, right? So this is awesome. It kind of makes me want to blush, like reading these sorts of things, right? But I'm doing it because I want to show you, right? Instead of just like tell you, show, don't tell. So when you see stuff like this, what should you do with it? And let's say you capture on LinkedIn, what should you do with it? Look, this is the guy who runs Social Media Examiner's event, Social Media Marketing World, the biggest event in social media marketing, 5,000 something people, right? Saying all these good things. What should you do with this?
Take a screenshot and add it to your personal brand manager.
That's right, Mr. Nick Stover. Yeah, you add it to your personal brand manager, which is your filing cabinet of all your items. And then you're going to put that on your Facebook, you're going to put it on your landing pages, you're going to put it in your marketing materials, you're going to put it in your speaker reel, you're going to put it all over the place, right? Why wouldn't you? The whole idea of a social amplification engine, I want to get more out of what's already good. I want people to see this. I want other people to do the work for me.
Say that thing about the brand manager again.
The personal brand manager, what we call the PBM. Yeah, if you want to see, this is something we'll talk about in another session. But I can show you. I wonder if I have it downloaded on this laptop. This is a new laptop. My internet's not working very fast here. Let's see if I can find this document. Let's go over here. Can't even type. Got so many documents here. I'll look for it later. Anyway, it's here. It basically is it's a framework for you to store all your different assets so you can reuse them. Okay, a few more things about LinkedIn. You should go cross-endorse other people, of course. Go do this. And make sure they have the right skills too, because some people will have things like Microsoft Word and I can type 50 words per minute, or well, yeah, maybe you put that in there a long time ago, but maybe that's not what you want to have in here. Let's go to the profile. The XYZ thing, I can't emphasize enough. I did a session with Joshua B. Lee about this, who's the LinkedIn marketing guy. So I help X achieve Y through Z. So what is it that you do? You can't say I'm a digital agency owner or I'm the CEO of Nick Stover International, right? I've got to choose that vertical and what your thing is. So when you do that, and then you add in other information about what you've done, your publications, right? So where were you featured? So of course I put in that post on LinkedIn that went viral. I put that in here. I put in some of my other top posts. You can put all kinds of stuff in here. Activity. Oh, you can drag around these different sections as well. I don't put the job experience thing as important because I don't think people care about titles as much. I think they care about who you are and they care about your content. They care about your relationships increasingly from a social network standpoint. So do any of you guys even know or care that I went to the London School of Economics? Maybe, maybe not, right? You don't care about my degrees. You care about whether we have mutual friends. It's all about trust, right? So if I'm producing content, it's generating trust because people are engaging on it. That's going to carry way more weight than whatever I have to say about myself. So that's cool, right? We have 280 people have seen it. 3 shares. That's awesome. Futurist of Sleeping Giant. Love this. Okay. See these canned things. I think the canned responses are not very smart. Amen, brother. Okay. Amen to you. I can include a picture too. I wish I could reply with a video. It's a shame. Oh, there's Bruno. Bruno, we're not even connected. Bruno's awesome on Twitter. Go look at Bruno. Where is my connect? Here it is. All right. So that's what I do on LinkedIn. That's today's session. I'd love to hear any questions or thoughts you have on LinkedIn. We talked about what it means to create posts that actually are seen. Look, here's Heather Monahan. She kills it. She's a big speaker. She's also very attractive, so she can do this. She's got blue check marks, but you can see her stuff is fantastic, right? What do you think's showing up my newsfeed? It's not just the people I'm connected with, but it's where there's, look, this guy's trying to get I'm a millionaire. I don't know about that. Well, people apparently do care about that. Travis Chambers, Forbes under 30, data crafted video ads that drive sales. See, he's very clear about what he does and not his job title, the CEO of Chamber Media. That's not what he's doing, right? He's telling a story. This video is doing okay, but it is landscape instead of vertical or square. So he's missing an opportunity there. Full disclosure, he's a coaching client of ours, right? Look at your connections that you're getting. Look at your notifications. I almost never, look, Howard, you got to put a picture here, my man. Look, say, hello from Arizona. LinkedIn suggested time. Okay, sure. I accept most people as long as they sort of have some people in common. Owner, CEO, okay, sure. Gaurav wants to connect. LinkedIn marketing chef. Watch him reach back out to me saying, I'd like to show you how you can drive more sales on LinkedIn. I always take a gander in these messages. I'm not going to respond to that one. This guy here.
I have a question.
Yep.
What do you think about the pronouns that people are displaying?
I don't want to get involved in that he, she, they kind of thing. I mean, if you have a difficult name where maybe you're born and people can't tell whether you're a male or a female or whatnot, but it's up to you. It's whatever you're comfortable with. My friend Jeremiah Owyang gave me a bunch of crap because you remember that day, what was it, in February, where a lot of people turned their Instagram profile black for Black Lives Matter? And I said, well, I don't really feel like doing that. He said, yeah, well, yellow lives matter. And you, by staying silent, are not, you're like, hey, look, I just don't talk about political things, okay? Like I'll post a picture of me and Roger Stone, but that's about it, right? That's what you get on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Dennis, I have a question.
Yep.
Why do you tend to post more video on Facebook than you do on LinkedIn?
LinkedIn video doesn't seem to do as well for some reason. And Facebook tends to be more social, so video is better. LinkedIn is still, their algorithm is still text driven. And because there's less engagement, people aren't posting on LinkedIn as much. There's just less competition on LinkedIn. It's easier to get power by showing words. Like Alan Gannett has done a great job on LinkedIn by doing 1-minute videos. And what he does is he'll be at events or whatnot, and he'll hold up his phone and he'll do selfie style. He hasn't done a lot recently. And he wrote this book, The Creative Curve, which is great. But check this out. So he's got the best examples I've seen of people doing videos on LinkedIn. But even his stuff has fallen off a little bit, right? Let's look at some of his stuff. I don't think he's posting. Okay, so he's got some video. He's got a lot of these interviewee kinds of things, but not as much anymore. The algorithm's changed a lot. Video was more powerful 2 years ago on LinkedIn, but now it's shifted back to these one-liner kinds of things and a little bit of hashtags, but see, just simple little things. Other people have said, when you post on LinkedIn, the algorithm isn't very smart, so that you want to space it to be at least 12 hours apart. Within 12 hours, another post, because the minute you make a new post, it kills the previous post for reach. That's not true. It does hurt you a little bit because when you have a new post, that's going to suck away some of the juice of the previous post. But you can see I made a post this morning and we made a post just now. Look at what these other people who are doing well are doing. Like you saw what Heather's doing. She's a good friend. Got a lot of, by the way, the attractive females tend to be doing really well on Facebook. So I think Dr. Kim Grimes could do pretty well following the method that Heather's doing. But look at what Heather's doing.
That compliment. Yay.
And you're so positive, you carry a lot of the same positivity that she does. So look, so she's got these power images and her story, I'm not saying copy this, but a lot of us can probably mimic these pieces. Her story was that she was a general manager at a TV radio station and she got passed up for the big job. She basically got fired for various reasons. And all these people trod on her, but now she believes in herself. And all of these are about, believe in yourself and you can do it, which is great. When she's speaking, she's an author, like all this stuff is around that, right? Every one of her things here is along those same themes. See, look, she's done the same thing. I was devastated, right? That's the loop, the opening the loop. I thought I was at the top of my game in corporate America. But then this bad thing happened, but then I became successful. Oh, here's my book. Okay. But she didn't include the link to her book. She put in the comments for sure, right? She knows. Another one who's like this, also a client of ours, is Mary Henderson. Mary Henderson has her trademark Magenta. She's helping people with personal branding, author, speaker, coaches systematize their knowledge so they can do courses and consulting and this kind of thing. Let's look at what she's doing. Don't listen to what people say. Look at what they do, right? Look at what I do. Look at what's actually working. Don't just, you know what I mean? Like this is the internet. You can easily see. So she's making 1-minute videos. This one actually did not bad. But let's look at these other ones. Okay, she's got
Dennis, if you have time, I put a link to a friend of mine in the chat box, and I've been surprised at how well she does. And she doesn't even look like she's appealing to her client base. It's more of a
this one.
She does a post every morning, and it gets lots of engagement. I messaged her yesterday and said, "Wow!" And she says she's been getting.
All right, let's take a look. So Melissa, wow, it's not bad. That's great. She's only got 14,000 followers. Yeah, so she's doing the same thing, right? These one-liners where she's attracting people's attention. That there's sort of counterculture. So right now, the Gary Vaynerchuks are promoting something that's called hustle porn, which is work harder, wake up an hour earlier, never sleep, always work. You can always work another hour and keep failing. It's okay to fail because it means you're closer to succeeding, and failure is a badge to be proud of. And she's saying the exact opposite. Get more sleep, take time with your family, make sure you can relax, be a balanced person, right? Instead of just try to do more, how do I do less? Like that's a counter message. Counter messages tend to do, because it stands out. If everyone else is saying Lamborghinis, millionaire, then you want to really do the same thing. I mean, there's only so many Tai Lopez's, you can have out there. No one cares what you want. Everyone in sales. Okay, so this is an inspirational kind of message. Yeah, think about them. What's in it for me? Hashtags. Okay. Wow, this is great. You're right. This is fantastic.
And she actually works for Lot Links, and that's a fairly new job. She worked for NetCerta for many years before that. And I was shocked because I didn't realize a person could have that kind of reach so quickly. But like you said, if somebody who's attractive, that always helps.
The attractive female saying inspirational things. Look, this is just like Heather Monahan, isn't it? Isn't she saying the same kind of things? Notice these are all posing kinds of pictures. And Heather had the same kinds of stuff, right? Mary Henderson, same kind of stuff. Dr. Kim, same kinds of things. I think that I'm almost wanting to create a scholarship for women CEOs that want to promote their brand, right? I think there's a huge algorithmic arbitrage opportunity. Look, here she is. This isn't Monaco, is it? Where is this? Somewhere with these ships, right? Well, this one didn't do quite as well. Well, it was edited. Maybe that had something to do with it. Yeah, see, those two were edited. When you edit it, see that? This one, edited. The algorithm's like, oh, they messed with it. I wonder what they messed with. Maybe I'm not going to give it as much juice. This one, edited. Don't edit. Just make a new post, okay? Don't edit. You see that, right? Look at these other ones. She's killing it, right? Killing it. And then the one she edited, look, she's edited this one. How do you think it did? She still did pretty well.
Hey, Dennis, I'm not sure if you know this, but could you explain the difference between when I search somebody and I get a connect versus a follow?
Oh, you can follow anybody. To have a real connection means that you're friends. It's not like Twitter. Like on Twitter.
Well, what I mean is I only get an option. So I only get to connect with Melissa versus follow.
Yeah, their profile can be set to open where anybody can connect. Some of them, you have to have a secondary connection or you have to know their email address. If you don't have that option, then you're not close enough for them to be able to do that, or they set their profile.
I ran into that the other day for the first time, and I had to click a little button to the right, and then it popped up a deal to connect.
Yeah. See, look, Bruno and I are connected. Mr. Bruno. Let's see, you can recycle messages between social networks. Bruno Mars, here's the other Bruno. Look at this guy. Bruno can recycle his messages. So this is doing pretty well. Wow, 1,300 likes on this on Twitter. Beginning of the year, that's almost a hook. Some bad things happened, now some good things happened. Okay, this is called the rags to riches or the hero story or the 3-part story arc. This is the basic motivational personal brand. I was doing poorly, now I identify with you and we're struggling together and then I win. So Harry Potter kills Voldemort, right? Rocky knocks out the bad guy at the end. This is the classic story. And anyone who is a coach or motivating other people to be better versions of themselves, that kind of thing. So he could take this post and cross-post it to Facebook and LinkedIn, see? And these other ones, sharing others people's posts tends to not drive much engagement. Bruno's doing really well. Let's see other stuff, not retweets, but actual things he's put out there. He's doing it without much of a fan base and not even a blue check. Not that matters all that much. Look at how fast these are. 6 hours, 7 hours, 7 hours ago. This one's good, 16. I think your frequency's a little high. Still pretty good though, yeah. See? Yeah, not bad. But anyway, back to LinkedIn. Actually, let's look at our Facebook one, see how that Facebook one's doing. And while I'm doing that, I'd love to hear what you guys think of today's session. Other questions you still have about LinkedIn, comments, things we didn't cover?
You answered my questions about the post, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. There's Dylan. That's a good job. Yeah.
I think it was good because I don't usually use LinkedIn as much. I've had it for a long, long time. So it was good to kind of see, because I've always looked at it to be like exactly like Facebook, but it's really not from what I'm learning today. So I want to say that it was a great session and I do want to dive in more. And also, I'm not connected. I realized I'm not even connected with you. So I started following you, but we're both connected to Frank Kern. So I don't know how to connect with you, but I totally think so too.
So Patrice, so glad you're here. I think you have an amazing story and everyone should, I think you can fit the figurehead that we're talking about, like you see with Mary and Tom's friend and these other sorts of folks. And
definitely, I love her story.
Yeah, and
I'm actually working. I was telling you I'm working on the book, and I actually decided I'm actually releasing it earlier than 11/11. It's actually going to be September 13th because that's when my son was born. So I feel like sharing his story makes sense to do it on his birthday to release it.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just know that when you write a book there's so much effort in putting together a book. And we did a session a month ago about how you should write your first book. So everyone should watch that. Oh, by the way, what time is it right now, Patrice? What time is it?
2:09 equals 11. That's awesome.
So you should read.
I just wanted to chime in real quick.
Yeah.
Patrice has this Beyonce thing going on right now because the fan is blowing into her hair. So her hair is doing this thing as she's talking. And it's like the best thing ever because it doesn't matter what she's saying. The wind is just going through her hair and it's just doing this thing. So I'm like, keep going. Yes, please.
Great. Yeah.
Yes, my fan is right in front of me. So it's hot in here. So
you got all your fans right here, Patrice. All right. So thoughts and questions about dominating LinkedIn, getting more reach, driving more connections, being clear on who you are.
How consistent should you be in LinkedIn? One thing I do is I've done it for several years is I get a Notes to Inspire from Simon Sinek and I share that every day on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook.
Yeah.
And that I've really grown my LinkedIn profile because of that daily thing. But just today for the first time, I don't get much action on Twitter on that, but Simon Sinek quotes liked my tweet and I wasn't even following them.
That's good.
So somebody, their company, whatever, that was pretty cool.
So Tom, for you, I see you post a lot of Simon Sinek. Be careful of that becoming mechanical.
It is mechanical, but
yeah, those, especially like on Twitter, your posts look like they're coming from a bot. So they're not getting much engagement. So people don't think it's a human that's sharing it. So make sure you vary. So don't think you have to post every day or at 8 a.m. every day or whatever some consultant told you. We care more about your greatest hits, so higher quality, than about let's just post X number of times, right? The publisher model, which is there's news. So if you turn on the TV or read the newspaper, there's always news. Even though there's no news, it's like some cat fell out of a tree, whatever it might be. Versus the greatest hit is you are, name your favorite artist, releasing those albums. And those songs were maybe from like 30 years ago or whatever it is, but we're focusing on doing things to create greatest hits. So that way, Axl Rose, who did, the Welcome to the Jungle, Patient, Sweet Child of Mine, from Appetite for Destruction, 1987, those songs. I told you, I saw Fat Axl on stage. He's 50 something and he was still singing Sweet Child of Mine. He would do a song and then go around behind and breathe oxygen while Slash or whatever would do some guitar solo. And then he'd come back out and sing and do all that kind of stuff again. I thought that was really impressive, but I don't think he's made any new songs in the last 30 years, right? So what we want are our greatest hits. I'd rather have a few pieces of really good content than just every day mechanically the robot puts out more content just because you're supposed to put out more content, right? And the more content there is, the more social networks there are, the more AI there is generating content, the more important it is to have standout content. So this situation of there's more and more, the amount of information that's out there is increasing like this. Your time is like this. It's the same. You still have the same number of hours to sleep and eat and read and do whatever. Another hour like us spending together has to come from somewhere else, right? So I really appreciate us spending time together. But you want to have something that can live, that we can get a lot of power off of something that's good. So that's why you always got to, so the counterintuitive thing is you want to take many shots on goal, but you're doing it to try to get something could be a greatest hit as opposed to, I just want to, every day the tweet bot puts stuff out there, right? And that's why you want to have variety, other things like that. Cool.
That's a great point. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Dennis, do you use VAs for this, or you always do it yourself? You let's say doing Twitter and all that. Are you always creating your own, or do you have also VAs doing it?
One of my favorite quotes from Westworld is, "If you can't tell, does it matter?"
No, it doesn't.
Now, just because I have VAs doing it doesn't mean that I don't need to learn how to do it. So you saw today we demonstrated how to do it, but a lot of these posts are not being done by me. It's recycling content from things that I've said maybe years ago, and you'll see a lot of the things that I say are evergreen. So we do have a team of people that's taking my content and reposting and repurposing it. Yeah, sort of like destroys the magic when you find out Santa Claus isn't real, No,
I mean, it's good to know. So as we grow and scale, then we'll know what to do. You're trying to do everything yourself. So
yeah.
Wait, Santa Claus isn't real? No, just kidding.
WWE, they're not actually fighting and wrestling. Yeah, when we first got WWE as a client, I didn't realize that people actually believed that was real. So that's how we did our marketing, assuming it was real. Yeah. I'd like for Dylan and Manoj to introduce themselves.
I was just typing something in the chat, but we're just doing a quick summary of some of the things that we learned in the call. But yeah, so we're from Minnesota. Me and Manoj actually met through a similar type of environment online through another program. And we are actually here today because just the amazing things we've learned so far from Dennis. He's just an incredible guy, and he has taught us too many things to count.
Yeah.
He's really, really good at what he does, and you guys are really lucky to be a part of his community because his time is rare, and I know he could be anywhere else, but he's giving his time to us, and that's amazing. So, but yeah, we're working on helping therapists to brand themselves online and to help them get more clients. And that's our story. That's our mission.
Fantastic. And thus,
Where in
you're going to
Minnesota do you live?
Pretty close to the city, a little west, about 30 minutes.
I'm in southern Minnesota. That's why I asked.
Oh,
Cool.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. You betcha. We should get together and have a Minnesota meetup. Bring Chris.
Everybody watches that Fargo movie and they think we all talk like that.
Thomas, I think we might have met on Clubhouse, actually. I think you were talking to me at one point on Clubhouse. I have a fun.
Okay, I think I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah. Good to see you again.
And there's Kristen, you see down below there. So Kristen, I'd love for you guys to connect. All our Minnesota friends connect.
Yes, I'm in Otsego.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I know one of the city council people up there.
Oh, small town, yeah.
Yeah, Tina Godey or?
Don't recognize. I just moved back here, so.
Oh, I see.
I was
Okay.
in Golden Valley for a little bit. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, let's all meet up.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I guess I should mention I'm in Minneapolis, so I'm in Minnesota as well.
Oh, hey, Minnesota.
Yeah, we got a great Minnesota connection in here then.
Minnesota's in the house. I'm in Newport News, Virginia, just so y'all know.
Awesome. All right. So at the end of every office hours, we do a rating. So how do we do on a scale of 1 to 10? Hold up your fingers. 9, 8, whatever. Okay, 10. You guys are awesome. Is anyone not? I'd love to see. We have Dilson and Priya and other folks. I haven't seen your fingers. You guys all right? Oh, there you are.
My 10 is always 11, so I want to make that known. I don't have 11 fingers, but it's 11. It's awesome.
Awesome, guys. Well, I'd love to see your progress. Share it in the group. Reach out to other folks that are here. Join us on Clubhouse tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific for the Coach Youth Show. And meanwhile, kick some butt. I'll see you guys next week. Love you all.